I hear the door open. I see this old man. He pulls out his gun. He points it at me, and then I'm on the ground.
My 9-year-old grandson went across the street to ask questions. She was met with a bullet through a locked metal door with her 9-year-old son.
Get your food! Oh my God, I said one thing when I you out.
Someone dropped those comments. Migrants and humans. What? Humans? Like, he doesn't even understand how to write well, but like somebody literally, a human being, supposed human being, literally shared this comment, on one of my posts that has been getting like some type of attention. Now, the video this person was responding to was the video where I shared where Obama was talking about why there was the media hype, why there was so much attention to the five um, people who had gone on the Titan expedition, why the media was taking so much hype on it and taking us through the whole story, but was not reporting that over 700 people had lost, on the Greece shipwreck. So I literally shared that, and I've seen the engagement. The engagement has literally been loud, but this comment, this comments literally sent a lot of cold chills down my spine. And this comment literally explains the mindset of why a lot of melanated people, a lot of migrants are being killed. This comment explains all of that. Because, goodness me, like I literally had to go check this person out. Like I tell you, on social media, we're going to see people who disguise in different forms, like act like they're humans, but they are definitely not even worth to be called animals. I'm telling you that. So literally, I had to go check this person's page out to see if he was like a troll or something, or he was like of course this person can should be a troll. But then I saw like in his page, the only thing he had there was just stuff about war, like soldier stuff. And I'm like, is this person in the military? Is this person working for the force or has love for the force? And I'm like, if this type of person, even if he doesn't work for the force, has this type of mentality and he's sharing this type of content, definitely if he ever has some type of weapon or something, he will definitely hurt somebody. And you know who he will definitely hurt. And this comment literally is the reason why I'm going to be talking about these three stories that we've watched span through the past months. And it has so much to do with melanated people. It has so much to do with Black people and the Black community. And I tell you, the story of Ralph is one story that if you don't know, I'm going to be sharing about that in this video. 16-year-old child who went to the wrong house. He was supposed to go to 115 Northeast, I think Northeast 115 Terrace, but he went to 115 Street, and he got to the what he knocked, and the next thing, like this is his story.
I see this old man, and then he pulls out his gun, points it at me, and then I'm on the ground. I fall on the glass.
Now, this young man literally got shot at, and thankfully, the 16-year-old survived it through. Like, people were literally like praying about it and doing so much, and thankfully he survived it. So he's literally sharing his journey of healing and everything. Now, guess what? The 84-year-old man who shot him literally was left to go, like, is roaming around the streets free. Like, charges probably dropped or something. And then we see a recurring story. The whole thing happened within the span of 2 months, because we see another woman being killed by neighbor. So Ajike Owens, who is a Nigerian mother, a US Nigerian, like a Nigerian US based mother, who literally wanted to go retrieve the one of the kids' iPads that was, like seized from the neighbor, and she went there to go get it, and she got shot at, like she got killed. She was shot and she died. A mother of four, a Nigerian mother, a Nigerian woman based in the US, Florida to be precise. And you know, we heard that the woman was arrested, and then at the end of the day we hear that, oh, there's no the evidence, there ain't enough evidence to charge this person, so this person is free to go after killing a woman that has 4 children to deal with. So now that's crazy story of Ralph. Thankfully Ralph survived it because he was shot at close range. He was like, it was so, thankfully he probably hadn't got into the house before he was shot. So like, we see the story of Ralph, we see the story of Ajike Owens, and we see how migrants are treated out there, like they're treated like less than animals, because I feel like animals would even get more respect. And I feel like this type of mentality is the reason why black people are really struggling so much, in like when people like really get out there and say, oh, you know what, I want to stay somewhere else, I want to be cohabit with other people. And then I'm going to share now the 3 stories I'm sharing is the story of Ralph, the story of Achike, and the story of this woman who's 14-year-old killed um, uh, killed another person, Carlisha Hood and Jeremy Brown. Now, Carlisha Hood was this black woman who was literally assaulted by another black person, a black man, precisely, Thing Brown, and we saw that video.
Hey, get your food. Get your food. If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my God, I say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out.
Thankfully, we had evidence of what really happened. And unfortunately for him, the 14-year-old son, like, I think, had to just do something to protect the mother, and which led to him shooting this man fatally, and that ended up, costing his life. Now, when we look at these 3 cases, we see like something different. Now, Carisha, on the other hand, and her 14-year-old son were charged, were arrested, um, you know, and thankfully they were released at the end of the day. And then they were like, there were not enough charges, and they let them go. So I'm looking at it more like these 2 people, both this man and this woman, this Caucasian man and this Caucasian woman, they literally were not even arrested immediately. Like, the media, there had to be some type of noise, and before they were arrested, and then they were let to go. I don't even think they were really, really arrested. They were let to go. But this woman, who literally was defending herself, um, was charged. Now, I don't know if you see the dynamics of what's happening, but I see it all the way. I see it, and I see it. It's so loud, because I feel like we're treating less than humans. And really, if we have people like this coming in, I wonder why we should entertain some people in our lives. Like, we need to be very careful and very alert. Like, I personally, when I see people troll my space, drop comments like that, I either block them or delete. Like, there's no space for toxic vibes, because I mean, I just got one life to live. And literally, when we look at, I was so happy when Kalisha and the son was left, was let to go. Um, because it was purely self-defense. We could tell that story was a self-defense story, unlike the 2 other stories. Like, there was nothing about self-defense. It was more like, okay, you're I have a gun and I can shoot you, and I'm gonna shoot you and I will shoot you and nothing will happen. And that's exactly what happened. Now, when we're looking at Carisha, we're seeing 2 black people, a man and a woman, who get into something that gets physical, and this man loses his life. And I'm telling you, I think the reason why you know Carlisha was arrested was because she's black. Because if she was white, I'm not sure anybody was going to touch her. Looking at the fact that she even has like I'm not saying there's any right, anybody has a right to take anybody's life, but looking at the real story, we see like it's like more of a defense. It's more like a defense. So we needed to do that just to protect ourselves. So I'm looking at it like, I think as a black person, like seriously, I feel for the young man who lost his life, but I felt like maybe if he had like more moral training, if he literally was a man who understood what it meant to have boundaries and to respect women and people, he probably would not be 6 feet on that. And I feel like that is why when I talk in my space, when I do this educational videos I do in form of talking about pop cultures and trends, is to create awareness to the black community that we need to pay attention and know that we only have ourselves and we have no other person. So if you are a black man out there assaulting, insulting, intimidating, hurting another black person, I'm so sorry because you're so blind. You don't even understand that, like, it looks like the world is against you and you need more families than enemies within yourself. So I just feel like it's really hurtful to see black people fight themselves. And unfortunately, we get to lose one another. Like, I feel like the brotherhood amongst us is so terrible. Like, we see people fighting themselves, like this. And I'm like, hey, come on. We need to know that we have to be together and not against each other. So I don't know, but this is just like me sharing like some awareness on, as a black person, you need to learn to share the right narratives to your kids, respect, love, and all of that. So Carlisha, so many people have gone on social media and they're like, there's just mixed feelings over this 14-year-old boy who knows how to handle a firearm, and they're like, oh my gosh, this kid killed a man, like, but the man assaulted. Like, I'm not trying to like say anything, but I'm saying that the conversation is really loud, and I think it's time for us to pay attention to educating ourselves more, tolerating ourselves more, and just understanding that some people don't see us as humans, and they will treat us less. And if we can't see ourselves as our own keepers, then we just, like, it's all a messed up situation. I don't know if anybody gets what I'm saying, but I just hope you do. And hopefully maybe we could have more justice in the world where, black people can have like be seen like humans. Like, I mean, when I see comments like this on social media, I get so irritated. I'm like, why do some people feel entitled and feel like they have more power than the other? And we know who really should have all the power. I mean, if black people weren't in the world today, if Africans weren't in the world today, we know how miserable the world would be and how irrelevant a lot of things will be, because I mean, all the resources comes all the way from us. So if we weren't like bringing in the lithiums, the oil, the everything, the world will lack everything, and all the things you enjoy will not. So I feel like the disrespect from those communities, this Western communities, is so irritating. And like, this is like a warning. Like, if you are that person, please stay away from my space because I will not tolerate you. I mean, if people can see things like this, they don't deserve a space in wherever you are, because they're too toxic. We can't even deal. We have a lot of things we're dealing with. We can't even deal with more of that. Anyways, I just felt like sharing. Let me know your 2 cents as to what you see in the black community, how much love or fighting we're having with each other. I know there are so many things you don't understand, but maybe with time and more conversations, there's a lot of conversations going on in the black community, and I just want more black people to be intentional. I think the more intentional you are and the more conscious you are of the things that are happening, the better for all of us, and the safer for everybody. So just my 2 cents. I'm gonna see you guys in another one. You guys know that I love to talk about real time stories. The three things I really love to throw highlights on in my space is, I love history so much, and so I talk about this type of things because I want it to be in our history books. It has to be like in an archive or something. I love to talk about highlights on realities, real time stories and reality shows. And of course, I love to talk about things to help your health. Well, follow for more, and I will see you guys on the next one. For now, thank you so much for your watch time. And let's not forget, so Carlisha Wood is actually suing, um, he's suing the arresting officers and everything, because when we really look at it, I think she has a beautiful case, and we're going to be looking to see what happens with that. But anyways, if you're a black person, stay safe and protect each other. Don't fight each other. You shouldn't be doing that at all.